History is impacted 7 ways. Through technological innovation, through a cultural movement, by wars and revolutions, scientific discoveries, political leadership, by social injustice and law reform, and by faith, awakenings, and spiritual revivals.
Welcome to What No Eye Has Seen 2024. Woo! I'm telling you, I feel this thing. He'll not only get you out of the problem, he'll make the devil pay while you're going through it, and he'll make him pay after it. I see you making the devil sorry he touched the wrong person. He's gonna find out he touched the wrong person. Because the child of God can't lose. The child of God can't lose. Whatever is born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. We are here to promote Jesus Christ, the answer, the healer, the Savior of the world, the deliverer, the soon-coming King. Man, I'm telling you, this week is gonna, I feel it in my bones. It's like a fire shut up in my bones.
And even the doctors can say, cancer is all over your body. You are on 4-stage cancer. I'm here to tell you there is another side of God the devil doesn't know. I don't know who has given up on you. I don't know who is writing your obituary or who is digging your grave. But there is another side of God that when the devil thinks everything is over, it is just beginning. And I know you know it very well in this ministry, that it's not yet over until it's over. There is a move of God that is coming to America. The eyes of religion will not see it. The eyes of tradition will not see it. The eyes of men will not see it. It's going to happen in Jesus' name. Woo! Something is about to happen. And it is beginning here.
Get ready for more of his spirit. Get ready for more of his anointing. Get ready for more of his power. Get ready for more of grace. Get ready for God to step in and turn the empty to fullness. And why should we believe that God is able to do much more than this? Because he said, and now to him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think. I want to speak into somebody's life this morning. Much more than this means greater than your losses. God is going to replace what you have lost. He's going to open new doors for you. Doors are about to open for you. Favor is coming to your house. Glory is coming to your house. Miracles are coming to your life. If you believe it, say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Life is permanently and perpetually on the go. You are permanently on the go. When people think you have finished, you are just beginning. You are just beginning. You are just starting. When people think you have achieved so much, they just realize that you are just beginning. Because you know that for as long as you have not seen Jesus face to face, your journey is not over. But God is the only reason why you will move and keep moving. They don't know where you are going next because you are camped with God. Only one man stands supreme in the office of the overseership of the planet. His name is Jesus Christ. He is the sum total of the covenant. He's the one that enforces the covenant. He's the one that makes sure the devil doesn't take advantage of you or your family or your children. Oh, hallelujah. But his name's Jesus. I come to brag on my elder brother tonight and let you know he's never lost a case. He's always on the job. He will make a way where there is no way. You ought to praise him when you wake up. You ought to praise him through the day. You ought to shout before you lay your head on a pillow and shout, he is my Jesus. He's my healer. He's my Savior. He's my deliverer. Come on, raise your hands and shout hallelujah.
No, I felt Kenneth Hagin was alive again. Yeah. That's the anointing that's here. It's a big anointing. It's an anointing that touches the whole world. To be free. And God is giving you power. Power. You see, you are going with power to help people in a supernatural way to be free from what is holding them and tying them down. A big anointing here. It's the anointing that has moved around in America and blessed so many people all over the world. And I believe that that power is returning and it is coming to revive the church into the will of God. There's power here. I'm talking about real power. Power to end things. Power to stop things. Power to stop things. What is a prisoner praying for? I want to get out of this prison. I want to go home. I want to go home.
History can be impacted in many ways, but only true change comes one way.
Hey, listen, you have to find a socket. You have to find it, whether it's a black socket, a white socket, a brown socket, a yellow socket, a broken socket, or what kind of socket, whether plastic or metal, you have to find a socket. 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 You have to find a
freaking way.
He will be tempted to run, be predictably shellacked.
Do not tell me that Donald Trump is in this to win this, okay? He's a sideshow.
This is going to turn a three-ring circus into a freak show.
He's not running for president. He's running for Keep Me Famous.
I thought this was maybe some strategy for a new reality show.
How should Republicans handle Donald Trump?
Ignore him.
And Donald Trump is not going to be the nominee of this party.
Well, I don't think it's likely that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
Well, I do, based on your theme, believe that he's here to stay for a while, maybe through a few primaries, but he is not going to be the nominee.
Well, I'm going to support the Republican nominee, and I'm comfortable that it's not going to be Donald Trump.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
Donald Trump will not become president.
He's not going to be president. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee it.
All right, all right.
I think if he becomes the president, he'll make it great, because the states is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom,
take it from me. How about that?
Cheers, Tom.
And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
So when you stand and deliver that State of the Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
And we better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket.
Next. I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on to
Sorry to laugh.
Okay, here we are. And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
And so, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? But come on, buddy. All, let's say, cow poo-poo aside, there is zero chance we'll be seeing you being sworn in on the Capitol steps with your hand on a giant golden Bible.
I'll make a prediction, though, for you. And I don't really get into predictions much, but this one I'll go way out on a limb. Donald Trump will never, ever be president of the United States. That Trump should not be in this race. He's an absurdity. He is a travesty.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Donald Trump is a here today, gone tomorrow candidate for president of the United States. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Ever respectful of the fact that the people have not voted, he's not going to be president of the United States.
Let's be clear. Donald Trump will lose the election.
I mean, he had a really good chance to be different and really have a chance to change things, but he doesn't do the work. He's lazy.
We talk about him every day, and we continuously bash him.
He's not going to be the president. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
This will be a wake-up call to the Republican Party. Despite Boris thinking that Donald Trump could win New York, like this, the presidential race is over.
Could I just cut through? I have one thing to say, one thing only, and that is that this race is over. Tomorrow morning, the money will dry up. The Republicans will start to hide. Trump has no place to go. This race, effectively, as of tonight, is no longer a presidential race. I mean, everything I know about presidential politics, and I've been through 5 of them, I've never seen one like this. This race is over. You might as well accept it. And the question now is, how do you minimize damage? And the only way you can do that, it seems to me, is to try to grab hold of some old conservative value things and do what Mondale did in '84, which is try to save a few people down ballot. But as far as Donald Trump's concerned, it will never, ever, ever happen.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
Our new NBC News SurveyMonkey poll is out today. It puts Hillary Clinton up by 10 points over Donald Trump. And this is not the first poll since the conventions to give Clinton a double-digit lead. This is actually the 4th. 4 polls that have Clinton up by more than 10 points, or at least 10 points. Staying the kind of lead she has leaped out into this race, you could see other states that suddenly get crazy, states you wouldn't have even imagined, like a South Carolina, even a Texas, they could at least become competitive. And what it would mean doesn't mean Hillary Clinton's going to win all of these. It means we could have more competitive states than we ever imagined. That's the way the lay of the land right now at this low moment for Donald Trump. We'll be back right after this.
We are back with David Hundo P. Clough, man who says Hillary Clinton has a 100% chance of winning. So that means that no scenario that we could lay out to get Donald Trump to 270 electoral votes is something he would buy. So we thought we'd get David in here to look at those scenarios that the Republicans are talking about, citing them as a potential path to victory, and explain to us why they are not just implausible, but impossible.
If you look at Wisconsin, the Marquette poll came out yesterday. She's up 6 points. She's up 4 points in our polling in Pennsylvania. If she keeps those together, all she needs is New Hampshire, and she puts the race away, and she's up there.
Well,
so
for
again,
them, that's the whole Colorado. I mean,
for them to look at fortune, and it is true, fortune favors the bold. Yeah. But if the Comey bomb didn't get them where they need to be,
that really is the question, right?
It's it'll be interesting tomorrow night, I think, when Hillary Clinton wins, that Donald Trump will have lost this election from the very first day he announced.
If the numbers bear out what we're seeing thus far,
Hillary Clinton will win Florida. And the delicious irony in this is that Donald Trump will have been kept from the White House by a big, beautiful brown wall.
And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas. He has now taken the lead. Donald Trump has 128 electoral votes. Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio. He has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 109. Idaho, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona.
But we should really just take a moment here and look at this. Pollsters predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to have not just a victory, but...
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
You got the memory of a fly! You little weasel! Fly me to the moon.
And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. All the way up. All the way up.
Yeah, I'm out the Queenside, grew up in Jamaica, now in Mar-a-Lago, but I'm New York forever. My way like Sinatra, that's how I made it here. I can make it anywhere, Trump Towers everywhere. Mobile with the Riz, no, you never really see those. Sip a Diet Coke, grab a Big Mac at McDonald's. Trump building majesty, 40 Wall Street. Catch me at the plaza, shooting Home Alone scenes, cruising down Broadway. Jet black Cadillac, motorcade slow drop, a fortune like Sajak. Build a skyscraper, Bole's Tower. Made another billion, it's like a superpower. Used to hang with John, catch me at the Knicks game. Now I'm sitting ringside, MSG all scream my name. Riggers think I'll tap out, they don't know my pedigree. Tell by my attitude that I'm most definitely from... Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, bet on me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. MAGA, let the love flow, Democrats corrupt. Yo, we know it's do or die, we taking it all back. So, feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Busting out retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 Trump. Everybody jump, Trump, Trump, Trump. Everybody jump, Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve. Just like tiny meatball, if you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I return. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Jump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump.
Usually, the mentally retarded are divided into classifications: the educable, the trainable, and the custodial. Obviously, we can only assess the abilities or potential of the mentally retarded on an individual basis. Seemingly random motions and movements are fairly common among the custodial retarded, and they may take many forms. Sometimes there are motions which seem to have no meaning whatever and may even cause unintentional self-inflicted injuries. The vast majority of the mentally retarded are intelligent enough that they can be taught a great many things. However, there's a wide range of ability even among those considered educable, and their ability to learn obviously varies according to their level of intelligence. Equally important is a stimulating environment. However, we must remember to set realistic standards that are not too high for the individual. Many of the trainable retarded can learn to take certain kinds of household responsibilities, some of which may be more complex than they are usually given credit for. It would be wrong to expect a mentally retarded person to become a master craftsman. The standards are too high. But even in the skilled trades, for example, the mentally retarded can be trained to become valuable assistants. Who are the mentally retarded? They are people. They come in both sexes and in all sizes, shapes, creeds, and colors. Wherever people live, there also live the mentally retarded.
Are the t-shirts up there? No, I want to see them. Hi, everyone. You're watching Check the News. We're going to look at Polymarket odds. We're going to move on to some more October surprises. We're still waiting for the Democrats to pull out some sort of October surprise, and it might be unraveling before our very eyes. Who knows? Let's take a look. Thanks for watching. Thanks also for sharing all of your hairy balls pictures with me on Instagram. If you know, you know. Also, we are live on our 40-day broadcast on various television networks. And of course, we're going to give you the opportunity to give right in the halfway mark for your chance to receive that very sophisticated t-shirt. Hairy balls, there it is. So shall we? Good morning, Guinea. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Susan on the app, and all of our fellow viewers. It's October the 29th, so let's get to it. Break. New. Jon Stewart, of all people, calls out the media's fake moral outrage over Puerto Rico, says he thinks Tony Hinchcliffe was hilarious. Take a look. Wow. Excellent. My goodness. What kind of world are we living in? Next. Breaking. Harris drops below 40% odds in all betting markets, tracked by Real Clear Politics, marking a first in this election. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The odds are just not in her favor. Next. So what do you think the Democrats are going to be doing this week? Breaking, Trump soars in an all-time high in betting market Kalshi. He now leads Harris in the $92 million market by 64% to 36%. Let me see it. All right, so today, oh, snap. We have a Powder Puff football game. Oh, my goodness. You guys, this is awesome. Wow, that's me, y'all. So this, I'm not on this team though, correct? No, you're on this team. All right, so that's the t-shirt that I'm gonna be wearing. Okay, perfect. That's fantastic. I appreciate it. So this is fire. No, 100%. This is great. Thank you guys. Wow, are you excited? Yeah. Come on now. It's gonna be so much fun. Here's to hoping we win. Powder Puff. There it is. Wow, those are fire. Oh my goodness, our logo is on there too. Great job. All right, next. Woo! Donuts. Just in North Carolina, Republicans just expanded their early voting lead. So take a look. They're up by 1 point. Republicans putting on a hurtin' on this early voting lead. And let me tell you, if you live in Pennsylvania, today is the final day for you to be able to cast your early vote. I've heard that there is one place here in Allegheny County that was backed up about an hour and a half yesterday. So get there early and stand in line. Don't give up. Cast your vote. Next. Watch Melania Trump is rushing to her husband's defense after he has been called a Nazi and Hitler. Again, I wonder when this was. This is October 29th. Play.
Correct. It's terrible. He's not Hitler, and all of his supporters, they're standing behind him because they want to see country successful. And we see what kind of support he has.
Yeah. Right. Why do you think he does this? He doesn't have to do it. You know, we hear Eric Trump all the time say, my dad could be on a beach, my dad could retire. He has these buildings and businesses. Why do y'all do this? Why'd you choose to do it again?
He loves his country, and he wants to make it successful and for all of the people. Yeah. You know, he loves people, and he wants to make this country great again.
There it is. Will you guys pull up the picture of the town in Israel that was named after Trump? It's called like Trump Heights, something like that. Play. Or next. If someone calls you a Nazi, you can insult them back any way you want. That's the rule. Play.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop doing it.
This guy, pause. This guy goes up against these people on CNN, and he is absolutely relentless. What's his name, I wonder? Let me know what his name is. I'd like to give him a follow on X. Play.
Is that Mike? I mean, I'm not sitting here saying
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is that...
Did you just say I should die?
You
should
not. No,
did you just say I should be killed?
No, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Wait a minute, wait.
On live TV.
Wait a minute. Did he really just... What kind of... Wait a minute. Okay, wait. So we're talking about... Golly, so I'm going to assume that he's Jewish to the right, Palestinian to the left, and he just made a comment about I hope you don't answer your beeper, which of course was a shot at Hezbollah because their beepers exploded, yada yada yada. Start it over from the beginning. Let me just with fresh eyes and ears. Let me see what this is all about. All right, play.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop doing it.
You've been called an anti-Semite more than anyone else's table. Yeah. And people will sit there and... No, by me. I never called you an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying...
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is that...
Did you just say I should die?
You
should not... No, did you just say I should be killed?
No, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
Hold on. Did your guest just say I should be killed? On live TV.
I said I hope you...
Guys, let me just stop.
You said you hope my beeper doesn't go off.
Because you said I'm a big supporter
of the Palestinians.
Hamas?
Guys, let me stop.
Palestinians.
Are you?
Am I what? No, of course I'm not sorry.
You got it. You really can't walk that back.
Ryan,
That's disgusting.
that is completely.
No, I apologize.
That
Good
is
job, CNN.
completely
Let's have first block say the Muslim guy should be blown up
I apologize.
on
I
TV.
apologize.
Don't say then I apologize. You literally.
I thought you said Hamas. I
You didn't think I said
No.
Hamas.
No,
I
you
said I
didn't.
supported
Yes,
Palestinian
Yes,
rights.
I did.
Why? Because when you hear
What's funny
Palestinian,
is
you
Rudy
hear Hamas.
Giuliani said this
No,
yesterday,
because-
so you're a great guest to be here to defend Rudy Giuliani.
Give me
one-
I wasn't going to
give me-
entertain
give me one
nonsense
second.
today, and so at this point,
This is what we're in
I
now.
can't
This is
do
America in 2024.
Here's what I will say.
Forget the
Here's what
racism.
That's right.
It's I should
That's
die.
right.
I didn't say that. You
You
should
said,
die.
what does beeper mean?
What?
Don't give me your
I
face.
didn't
I
say
hope
you
to God
should
he's not
die.
representing
Why did you say
Trump.
it's my
Who is this
beeper?
guy?
What did
I
you mean by
retract
the
my
beeper?
follow
What
on
did you mean by
X.
the beeper? No, you didn't. You said, I hope your beeper
What
doesn't
a
go off.
nightmare.
At least have
What
the
an
guts
ass.
to support your racist comment.
I'm so sorry.
Let her bring it back.
This is why yesterday's rally was disgusting.
Don't call us Nazis, but I'm going to threaten the brown guy as a
This is
terrorist
why.
and kill him.
Because I didn't ever say Donald Trump was Hitler. But do you know who stood on a stage yesterday and said, I want to come to the Nazi rally? I don't have to make up words and call you something. You're saying it for yourself. And what you just said
Kamala
right
Harris
here,
is a pimp.
apologize, but I will tell you, I don't accept that apology, and you didn't even say it
That's
to
fine.
me.
I didn't say it
that
to
was
you.
disgusting. But I can be offended when you don't even say it
That's-
to me. I'm not Puerto Rican, but I was offended by what he said
Okay.
yesterday. And I'm offended
Puerto
that
Rican and I'm not offended.
Former president and potentially future president would allow it and go for 12 hours and not say, I don't care. Because you know what? When Kamala Harris put out statements about switching of opinions, it wasn't good enough for Republicans.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you said it.
Why don't you take this back a little?
What? I need a shower. What the hell was that? Good Lord. CNN, do better. I mean, and then if you're going to have any kind of a conservative voice, you got to show some sort of restraint. My goodness. Next. All right, there it is. The town named after Trump. Trump Heights. How you like him now? Still feel like a Hitler to you? Next. All right, you know who else wore a brown uniform? Seriously. Here's the thing. Media could potentially say, look, she's wearing the exact same outfit as Hitler. I mean, and it would just be as credible as some of these losers going out and saying that this was a Nazi Hitler rally. Honestly, this feels more credible than any of them. Next. Every other demographic group gets some pandering. Men get lectured. Good luck on Tuesday. Kamala and Gretchen Whitmer caught on hot mic. We really need to gain ground with men. So that is absolutely, I mean, you can't even write this kind of stuff up. It's embarrassing for this campaign. Lock her up, put her away till November 5th, for the love of God. Play.
Listen to this question. Everyone's trying to set me here. Yeah.
Oh, we have microphones and I was listening to everything. I didn't realize that. Okay. So, well,
You'll
now you
bleep
tell
my
us.
F words.
You didn't realize that?
Family secret.
You didn't realize that. Matthew, do we have one of those boom mics anywhere? Let's show the people like how big those are for you to miss. Oh, I didn't realize. I missed that this entire thing was mic'd. Give me a freaking break. Disgusting. Next. Donald Trump. Trump's net worth has surged to $7.5 billion. You can't make it up. There it is. DJT. How you like me now? All right. Now this one doesn't even have the little thing around it, because typically you could, but you're gonna go to. Come on down. Right. Just put it right in front of me so that people can see how big these things are. How about that? Yeah, and you can't see that you're mic'd up, right? Maybe drink a little less. How? How do you not realize that? We're down again on and that's so gross. Man, this lady sucks. And Gretchen sucks. Next. Jon Stewart is spot on. We've already watched it. I loved it. Thank you, Jon Stewart. Who knew? Next.
Is the alarms.
The opening act.
Oh, wait, this
headlines
is a new one? Okay, is this a new one or is this a replay? Play it again, let me see, because he said the most repulsive, hateful jokes about Latinos. First of all, a hard pass, not even close. Secondly, who was the one that was at a Kamala Harris rally and made a joke about Latinos, Mexicans in particular, about stealing. George Lopez, can we isolate that pic or that clip, please? Next. Wait, go back, Singer Bad Bunny. What's the thing on that? I'm sorry, I just saw it really quickly.
Is the alarms.
The opening act. All right, I saw a clip today in which MSNBC propagandists was asking how likely it was that 5 generals would lie about what Trump allegedly said behind closed doors. Well, 51 intel professionals lied about Hunter's laptop. Hundreds of government and media pros lied about Russian collusion. Thousands of government and media pros lied about the Fine People hoax and dozens of other Trump hoaxes. Millions of medical professionals lied during the pandemic. Millions of scientists are lying about the reliability of climate models. 5 lying generals isn't even a stretch. What a wonderful, masterful tweet from Scott Adams. And let me tell you, this plays a lot into why the shift to Trump, okay? We've been lied to for 4 years since all of this. Let me tell you, COVID feels like an eternity ago, but it wasn't so long ago, okay? I remember having to dodge police officers as we drove into the studios to be able to check the news because we didn't think that we were even permitted to be on the roads. Do you remember those days? It was a far cry from where we are now, but we have not forgotten. We have not forgotten all the lies. We have not forgotten all of the BS that they tried to feed us for 2.5 years. And so now people are a little ticked off, and we're going to take it to the polls. Amen? Next. Who's shocked? So here it is. Since there's an issue with searching for this episode on YouTube, here's the full podcast with Trump. Joe Rogan posting this on his X account, and apparently it's getting shadow banned. You wonder why. What's the viewership like now for the Joe Rogan podcast? Is it in the hundreds of millions yet? Next. All right, there you go. Roseanne Barr, a comedian herself. There it is. That's great. What's it at? 37 million, huh? And that's with it getting stifled and slowed down on YouTube. Crazy. Next. You can actually pinpoint the exact moment when her brain short-circuited. This is coming from Jack Posobiec. Take a look. Play.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security?
Say it.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
And that, my friends, is called integrity.
Yes.
That's called courage. Now that's the stuff.
Who's that guy? Who was that guy?
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Whammy!
Next. Go back one. Oh no, this is the what? That's George Lopez? Woof. Gosh darn, what in the hell has happened to him? Yesterday at a Tim Walz rally, Tim Walz is having rallies. Why? Throw in the towel, Tim. Why are you having a rally? George Lopez made a joke about Mexican stealing. Play.
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, you better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight.
It's really funny. I enjoyed it. I enjoy that kind of humor, though. So anyways, next. All right, breaking. Clintons attended Hitler's wedding in 2005. Take a look, make it large. Bizarre. What? Drain the swamp, ladies. Drain the swamp. If you're just tuning in, Pennsylvania, it's the last day that you can vote early, so make sure that you make it out. If you're going to miss the November 5th elections, you got to vote early. Today is the last day. We're headed there right after Check the News today, and we're going to be casting our mail-in ballot in person in downtown Pittsburgh. Next. These people, this is coming from Tony Hinchcliffe himself. These people have no sense of humor. Wild that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his quote unquote busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. I made fun of everyone. Watch the whole set. It's true. Jews, blacks, they were all included in the mix. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon. Governor Walz and AOC react to this clip. When you have some a-hole calling Puerto Rico floating garbage, know that that's what they think about you. It's what they... Is there a video? I want to see what she has to say.
These are terrifying.
These are terrifying. Do you know what terrifying things actually look like?
And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing. I mean, I don't. He's a comedian. I don't follow
look, Trump,
this
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico
but...
again. I saw it. This was when he went down after Helene, the horrific hurricane. People there, everybody coming together. We sent helicopters down from Minnesota and personnel. You know, this is how you do this during this. And in the first hours, Trump complaining about the response. Does anybody remember how he responded to Maria in Puerto Rico? It was absolutely horrific. Down there insulting people, throwing it. Look, I know that the folks who are on here today understand this. People in Puerto Rico are citizens. They pay taxes and they serve in the military at almost a higher rate than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican, and like,
it's super upsetting. Is she gonna cry?
That is so messed up that I wish more people understood is that the things that they do in Puerto Rico are a testing ground for the policies and the horrors that they wish to, and that they do unveil in working class communities across the United States.
What?
And I need people to understand that when you have some a-hole calling Puerto Rico floating garbage, know that that's what they think about you. That's just what they think about you. It's what they think about anyone who makes less money than them. It's what they think about the people who serve them food in a restaurant. It's
Oh my gosh, what a stretch.
Who fold their clothes in a store.
I can't fold clothes in a store. Wow. These people are really, they're desperate at this point. Pastor Jonathan's going to be back tonight. He's taking a little breaksy poos. He's been literally, hasn't missed a single one of these. So God bless him. Trump rally speakers, there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Well, we also addressed this yesterday in that there is a garbage problem in Puerto Rico. But again, stand-up comic, he's in New York City. New York City eats this all up. He sold out Madison Square Garden, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So it's not that ludicrous. Next. 1 week until election. Look at Trump's numbers. This is according to Polymarket. Didn't think that she could stoop any lower. We were wrong. 34% for Harris, 66% for Trump. Dude, it's getting scary out there. What's going on with Michigan? Why is it gold? Next. Reporter, how concerned are you about the long-term status of the dollar? Treasury sign falls. Take a look. Play.
And over a longer time horizon, how concerned are you about the potential impact of the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency?
Dang, dude. One more time, because this is...
And over a longer time horizon, how concerned are you about the potential impact of the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency?
Dang, dude. It's not the sign. Next. Breaking, with no toss-ups, RCP projects Trump to win the election in a landslide victory. So take a look at this. This was updated, I believe, just yesterday. Looking good, Trump. That being said, don't take your foot off the brake. Let me tell you something. If you have not, if you haven't created some sort of schedule or some sort of plan to vote during this election, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. All right, you've had all year long. You knew that it was an election year for 2024. You should have had all of your ducks lined up in a row. You're dead to me if you don't vote this election. I'm not playing. Next. Try submitting X-ray, PET scans, RMI, and other or MRI or other medical images to Grok for analysis. So Grok is the X's version of AI, and apparently you can submit these X-rays and it'll read them more accurately than a doctor. This was Elon, actually, when we went to see him in Pittsburgh. He said this himself. This is still early stage, but it's already quite accurate and will become extremely good. Let us know where Grok gets it right or needs work. And the more people use it, the better and more accurate it becomes. Next. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to have the Elon Musk house. I'm going to have the robot. I'm going to do the PET scans, like all of that kind of stuff. I'm for you, Elon. A stage full of doctors called for someone to give medical assistance to someone having a medical emergency at a Kamala Harris rally. So what a dichotomy. There it is. Bunch of doctors standing around. Nobody's doing anything. Now, if you've been to a Trump rally, and I have quite a bit of times, he will stop the entire rally until they get medical service. And look at these people. How embarrassing. They're going to wait for another 5 seconds. Next. Okay, this is coming from our friend Antonio Brown. This guy wasn't even smart enough to get on the door to Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio endorses Kamala Harris for president. We were kind of sort of waiting on it. I know that there were some pictures of him at Diddy parties that were released, and it's hard not to make the conclusion that they're all in on this. You know what I'm saying? It's really difficult at this point. Next. I can't imagine not knowing my wife well enough to know exactly how she'd vote. I can't imagine my wife not talking to me about any of these controversial topics. I can't believe there's a campaign that encourages women to lie and deceive their husbands. So this is again paid for, allegedly, not quite sure, by some sort of Democratic campaign. Not quite sure if it's the Harris campaign or not. But take a look at how repulsive this is, among many other of their ads. But this is ridiculous.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose. You can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey. Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
That's where you're at in your campaign, where you have to literally try to cater to crazy ass women. What in the world? Guys, what did you think about that one? It's much better than the one that Pastor Jonathan shared on his X account. I'm not quite sure if he ever played that vulgar one. Next. That's funny. I can't believe what I'm witnessing. Kamala says that Trump will make you work overtime without getting paid. And then she explains what overtime means. I cannot wait to hear about this. Now, again, just like the left tends to do this with a lot of sound bites of Donald Trump, we got to be very leery about them doing the same thing with Kamala Harris. So I'm giving her a chance. I want to see the video for myself. Take a look.
But what he would do that is about eliminating or reducing the ability of corporations to be required to pay overtime pay.
So you could work and the corporations wouldn't have to pay you for it.
For overtime.
Who work for free?
That's right. And overtime means you are actually working a longer day, which means you are more tired.
Right.
Which means it requires more exertion. That's why we have overtime pay. So you don't take advantage of workers.
Okay, so that was, there's nothing to, wow. One more time.
But what he would do that is about eliminating or reducing the ability of corporations to be required to pay overtime. Overtime pay.
So you could work and the corporations wouldn't have to pay
Pause.
you for it.
I thought Trump said no tax, it's tax-free on overtime. I thought that was the policy that he brought to the table. Not eradicating overtime. And definitely not getting paid for overtime. Are you kidding me? That's insane. Who's buying into any of this? Play.
That's right. And overtime means you are actually working a longer day,
Thank
which
you.
means you are more tired,
Right.
which means it requires more exertion. That's why we have overtime pay, so you don't take advantage of workers.
Overtime pay or overtime work means that you work extra hours and you're extra tired at the end of the day. Next. No kidding, Buddha. A genuine Michael Scott moment caught on camera. If you missed it yesterday, we're giving you the opportunity to watch it again. Take a look.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that. Because it's about all of us. It's about all of us.
Dude.
Listen, I have fought my
Oh, cringe.
people first.
Gross! All right. Listen. Why are you playing it again? This is horrifying. It's the giggle at the end for me. That's.
Your own name. Do that.
Wait.
Because it's about all of us. It's about all of us. And listen, I have fought my whole career to put the people first.
Scary! All right, listen. Hairy balls. Here it is. Get you some. Get you some hairy balls. Here's the t-shirt that is up for grabs today for your partnership of any size. Hairy balls. If you want to give and get you some t-shirt action that you could wear to the gym, you could wear to the grocery store. I mean, this is going to be a hit. We are going to, once I receive mine, I will be wearing this to church, okay? Because if you don't know, we also have a church here. Check the News is part of a ministry called Revival Today. And we have a church that meets every Sunday. So if you're in town, Pittsburgh, or in the surrounding areas, Texas, Fort Worth, let's get there it is. Come and join us for a good time, all right? Where all of your Check the News t-shirts can be worn and nobody is going to judge or criticize you. So here it is, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and of course in Fort Worth at 9 a.m. simultaneously. We also have this wonderful God Is Not Done magazine. How do they get this magazine? Do we know? Is it on the website? I was just looking through it. This thing is absolutely stunning. So if you partner with us, you're going to get one of these too. Let me tell you, we also have a lot of things up in around the corner, including what? Breakthrough in ministry. And I know that Pastor Jonathan hasn't said this, but this is for ministry leaders or business owners. Dare I say, you're going to benefit from this. Even if you're not in the ministry, you better show up because it's going to be straight fire. We invite you to come and join us November 12th through the 15th, and it's going to be nightly at 6 p.m. We're going to be changing that to 6 p.m. And then we're going to have morning services Wednesday through Friday at 10 a.m. So definitely get you some. You got to register, rtcregister.com. Here are the ways for you to give and partner with us for that Hairy Balls t-shirt. We've got Zelle, we've got Venmo, and we've got PayPal. If you're still on Facebook, you can click #donate. You can also text RT to 50155. You can scan the code for all of the information on how to give, and we've got plenty of cryptocurrencies that you can donate. You can also mail in a check, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA 15329. Don't forget, the most important offer, or rather important part of this, is to claim your offer and get your t-shirt. revivaltoday.com/offer. And we don't have it yet, but we are making a quilt. So if you've been following the show since we launched it in 2020, we are creating a quilt. In fact, it's many quilts showcasing all of the different designs that we have released as t-shirt giveaways here on Check the News. So it's gonna be, how many quilts is it, 2 or 3? So for your gift of $10,000 or more, I believe that was the offer, we'll get you a little picture of what that quilt is gonna look like. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get to it. We're on the second half of the show, and we're highlighting and showcasing Robert Kennedy Jr. And here's the thing, when I'm on the show, I like to play Robert Kennedy Jr. Brother John doesn't like his voice very much, so he tends to skip over all of the videos, but I enjoy the guy. Let's read the tweet, enlarge it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I mean, you know what? This is just gonna be quoting him, so let's play.
I mean, one of the telling things that happened this week is that Bill Gates made his first political contribution in history. He gave $50 million to Kamala Harris. Now, do you think he did that because out of a patriotic impulse?
No.
And do you think he did that out of a humanitarian impulse?
No.
Oh, he did that to protect his wealth and his system, which he calls philanthrocapitalism, which is a way of making yourself rich by pretending to give money away to good causes. And he wants to keep that. He just got indicted in the Netherlands and is going to trial.
Pause. Jaron asks Mags, what should I do? I never received my mail-in ballot from Luzerne County, PA, which is like a hot county in Pennsylvania. I'm a student in a different state. How far away are you? Are you in a drivable distance? At this point, you're not going to be able to get that mail-in ballot. It's too late. Too little, too late. And so your either only option is going to be getting to Luzerne County before the end of the day, or showing up on November 5th and casting your vote. I'm not quite sure why it has taken this long for you to, so you asked for a mail-in ballot and it just never showed up, is that right? So honestly, your best bet is to actually show up, and that's right, Billy Back, drive back to PA and vote. You gotta show up, you gotta show up, you gotta show up. Miss the day, do whatever you have to do, crawl over broken glass, and vote on November the 5th, which by the way, we are almost 100% sure that we're going to be live in Scottsdale on November 5th, and we'll spend all night long waiting for the results of this election. Looking forward to it. All right, continue.
Yeah.
Pause.
I published...
Trump is holding an emergency press conference right now. He's on live. Is that true? Can you guys take a look at that? And if it is, can you guys pull it up so I can watch it? Next, or continue.
An Instagram post or an X post that said, "You're welcome, Kamala." Because I'm quite sure that the reason that he gave that is he does not want me running the health system in this country and looking into his business practices.
Hey, come on now.
That's right. He sees a big return on investment, he hopes.
Love it, gotta love it. Next, these people are probably shaking in their boots right now. Kamala just claimed Trump will terminate the Second Amendment and that she'll protect our gun rights. All of a sudden, she's pro-gun. How the H? Remember, she owns a Glock in California where Glocks aren't even allowed. Play.
Unreasonable search and seizure. Your Fifth Amendment right. Your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney.
Well, a lot of rights gonna be gone. The First Amendment.
But the First Amendment, the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Look, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I don't believe we should be taking anybody's guns away.
How can they actually say these things? They're the only party that's been in favor of pulling guns and of censorship. How can he sit there and say that Trump is coming after the First Amendment? What the? Sometimes it's like, it feels like we're taking crazy pills. Is he holding an emergency press conference right now?
They said yes, but he's not there yet.
Former President Donald Trump delivers remarks to the press at Mar-a-Lago. We're gonna tune into this because I want to watch it live and in person, so we'll have that for you. The moment that he's up, you got to let me know. This is on ABC News Live. Which, did anybody know about this?
No, nobody knew about it.
So what's going on then? What kind of remarks is he going to make? Because this is on ABC News Live. So this isn't a Trump rally. I'm just very curious at the timing of this. It's 11 in the morning. The press is ready to greet him. Typically, a Trump rally doesn't start till 5 or 6 o'clock at night. I'm wondering what the heck is going on. Former Trump is about to, President Donald Trump delivers remarks to the press. He's about to deliver some remarks, Ada. You want to watch? Yeah. Oh, God. Is there something you know that I don't know about? What's going on? You okay? Okay. I'm wondering what this is about. It feels odd. Does anybody know? Anybody know what this? Some of these people are saying October surprise, and unfortunately, I'm thinking about that myself. Is this the third act of Donald Trump? What could it be? What could it be? What kind of press conference is he going to hold right now at 11 in the morning on a Tuesday? Totally unannounced. What's going on?
Wow.
All right, next. Until he comes up, take a look at this. Kamala's big podcast today, 32,000 likes, 73,000 dislikes. Yet another fail for Kamala. Honestly, lock her up. Turn the key.
What was that about?
Just how poorly she interviews. You know, she was on Club Shay Shay, apparently.
I would
Whatever
not wear
that
a
is.
black shirt under that. I'm just letting everybody know.
She's hurting for
That
certain.
was my take.
She's hurting for certain. I will tell you that. But look how many.
$1,000 take.
Look at that. 73,000 thumbs down.
Is that Club Shay Shay?
Shoo-wee. Next.
I thought that was Club
Can you
Shay Shay.
not eat on the mic? Our viewers are listening. Next.
Okay.
I also have donuts here, Matthew, if you want some. I was just informed the New York Times is writing a hit piece on me. What did I do? So this is something that started this morning. And I've been seeing it on a lot of different influencers. I saw this on Benny Johnson's page. I also saw it on, who's the guy from Daily Wire? What's his name?
Probiotic.
No, the Daily Wire guy. He also got a message. So there's something going on, something in the air. What did I do? I said Democrats created an open border without sufficient evidence. The lawfare against Trump is 2024 election interference. The Kamala DNC nomination without primary was rigged. So it looks like people are getting hit pieces written on them. Not quite sure what's going on here. Play or next. Subject, New York Times comment request for Benny Johnson. Good day. I hope you're well. I'm Nico Grant, a reporter at the New York Times. I wanted to give Benny Johnson an opportunity to comment for an upcoming article that takes a look at how political commentators have discussed the upcoming election on YouTube. We rely on data compiled by researchers at Media Matters for America, which we have independently verified. Could you kindly provide us with comments or decline to comment by the end of the day tomorrow, Tuesday, 29th? Thanks so much for your time. Here are points we plan to include. Media Matters identified 286 YouTube videos from 30 major creators between May and August that contained election misinformation, including narratives that have been debunked or are not supported. Listen, misinformation is telling people that Trump is coming after your guns and First Amendment. Misinformation is saying that he's going to not pay. He's going to create like some sort of policy that doesn't pay for overtime. Why aren't they vetting those people? Researchers identified some videos posted by Mr. Johnson in those 4 months that contained election misinformation. New York Times, huh? Doing all they can, all they can. Is this their last-ditch effort? He shared conspiracy theories that have been debunked, including that Democrats broke the machines to deny Republicans a victory in Arizona on election night in 2020, and that Mr. Trump's legal problems are a result of election interference from Democrats. Mr. Johnson, who once wrote for Breitbart and BuzzFeed, tapped into the potent issue of immigration on YouTube, where he has 2.5 million subscribers. YouTube placed ads on 35 of his videos containing misinformation, and they attracted 7 million views. Mr. Johnson argued without sufficient evidence that Democrats have not closed the border. Can you believe that this is the kind of stuff that they're trying to peg him on?
I didn't listen to one thing you said.
Look at that.
Can you tell me exactly
that-
what happened here? Tell me just, and Adali says.
This morning, I don't know if you guys can pull, who's the guy for the Daily Wire? What's his name? He got something similar to this. Apparently, mainstream media is coming after some of these independent influencers and, you know, news outlets like Benny Johnson and the guy from the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro. Can you pull his tweet? And it seems to be coincide in like the same timeline. So they're trying to silence them, and they're trying to say that we're going to write some sort of piece on misinformation. And of course, this is, why would you select that donut of all of the donuts? You should have known that that was like my donut. That's disrespectful.
I'll put this half back down.
Don't do that again. That's the only one.
No, there's a dozen donuts.
Are you taking a bite out of all of the donuts?
I'm not taking a bite out of the donuts. I'm splitting them in half. And yes.
Ben Shapiro, yeah. Continue. Yeah, and somebody says they're bullies and they're scared. It feels that way, doesn't it? Next.
Samoa.
Next. Bro, Charlemagne.
Wait, can we go back, Max, and you explain what the heck does that mean? What
so they're just writing hit pieces because they're at this point.
Okay, but what are they going to write? That
without a doubt,
misinformation.
New York Times.
They've been saying that.
But what's interesting is the timing of this. Can you guys pull up the Ben Shapiro tweet where they're coming after collectively a lot of these guys that are
and then what?
Pro-Trump.
And then what?
I don't know. I think it might be scare tactics. I think it might be something like that where it's, you know, we're going to write a piece on you for, here it is, Ben Shapiro. If you were wondering, now mind you, this is like, again, the timeline is very interesting. And again, New York Times. If you were wondering what legacy media would have planned for October surprise, wonder no longer. It's here. Today I received the following text from a reporter at New York Times. So they're coming after all of these people collectively. We haven't gotten a text from New York Times, though. Good day, Mr. Shapiro. I hope you're well. I'm Nico Grant, same guy that Benny Johnson was. I wanted to give you an opportunity to comment for an upcoming article that takes a look at how political commentators have discussed the upcoming election on YouTube. This is all, I promise you, it's going to be in an effort to dethrone them from YouTube and demonetize them from YouTube. Does that make sense?
But how?
What they'll say is that they're promoting disinformation, and then they'll put pressure on YouTube to demonetize or basically, you know, shut them down.
They want to trap them.
Yes, I'm sure that's what
what comment do you want from them that they haven't already talked about?
Right. We rely on an analysis conducted by researchers in Media Matters for America. Could you kindly provide us with comments or decline to comment by the end of the day tomorrow, the 29th? Media Matters identified 286 YouTube videos between May. Is it the same email? 286? Was that the same number as the Benny Johnson? Or are they actually, is this like a copy and paste? Can you go back to see how many videos they isolated? Is this just like a copy and paste thing?
Oh my gosh.
Go back.
Could be, Mags.
Benny Johnson. Yes, it is. Media Matters identified 286.
Es que no piensan. How lazy can you be? We live in a world of social freaking media. You don't think that this is gonna go viral?
Wild.
That it's the exact same email given to everybody else?
They literally copied and pasted it.
Lazy.
So again, this is strategy.
Estoy aborrecida.
This is strategy, because what this ends up doing, if you get your money from YouTube, right?
Glenn Beck got the same one.
Glenn Beck got another one. All right, who else?
The same one.
Exact.
Come on, Nico, for Pete's sake.
Yes, absolutely. Vivian, I love Scott Pressler. We'll be praying for him and hope that he feels better. He's been firing on all cylinders, so he needs a vacation. So this is what I'm saying. So they're trying to write this hit piece, and then you read this and you think, oh my goodness, my YouTube channel, they've isolated 286 individual videos. Now we have to look through. We've had this done to us before, where we have to look through some of the content, make sure that we don't get deplatformed, because again, there's 600 watching on YouTube right now. So the idea that this is like a scare tactic, that's exactly what this is. That's what it looks like.
It's a newsletter.
Next.
sending it to the masses.
Isn't that wild? But so Ben Shapiro, what precisely is New York Times doing? It's perfectly obvious. Using research from Media Matters, a radical left organization whose sole purpose is destroying conservative media. See below. In order to pressure YouTube, see what I'm saying? To demonetize and penalize any and all conservatives.
This is already planned out. They're just giving
That's
you a
exactly
heads
right.
up because YouTube is probably in cahoots with it.
Well, the problem
that'll
is
just
think about they have to have some sort of strategy to come against disinformation. But at the end of the day, you've got Joe Rogan that has 31 million views on YouTube. It's just at this point
for the Trump thing.
Yes.
Wow.
31 million. So continue.
They took him off of it, didn't he?
No, apparently they are stifling the search on it. Next.
He uploaded it to X.
All right, 3. What's the entire game plan here? Run an article in America's most trusted newspaper that declares pretty much every major conservative purveyor of misinformation on YouTube, thus strong-arming YouTube into taking action against conservatives.
Right.
This isn't about election misinformation. Obviously, as pretty much everyone knows, I've always acknowledged that Joe Biden won 2020 election. And if it's election misinformation, to point out the rigging of voting rules for election 2020 resulting in massive, continue. I just want to read his tweets. Continue. All right, was that it? Massive what? I'm not quite sure how successful they're going to be, the New York Times. Nobody reads the New York Times, so not quite sure what that's all about. But here we go. 5. And by the way, even if someone does think Joe Biden didn't win the election, that is still protected speech under the First Amendment. Amen. But that's the point. You don't have to purvey misinformation to be the target. You just have to support Trump. This is totally scandalous. In 2020, the legacy media shut down dissemination of the Hunter Biden laptop story and laundered the claim that it was all Russian disinformation, all to get Joe Biden elected. In 2024, they're even more brazen. They're only trying to intimidate YouTube, one of the most dominant news platforms in America, into shutting down anyone who isn't pro-Kamala. Continue. Again, understand the mission from these supposed guardians of free speech and American liberty: silence the opposition the week before the 2024 election. They can't get away with it. They won't. If you ever doubted that the New York Times is part of a Democrat media human centipede, see below, doubt no longer. So the New York Times wants my comment. Here's my comment. Kindly piss off. There you go. Wonderful. Ben Shapiro.
That's not what it says.
It's not what it says, but that's all I can say.
Listen, if you have not yet followed us on our app, I want you to download it right now.
That's right.
Just in case. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, with all the deplatforming going on around
Look at
here.
this. That's what you need to do.
Download our app. Have access to
Do it right
all of our
now.
content 24 hours a day. You won't regret it.
You won't.
So is this the October surprise? Because it's hard to believe that with this doesn't...
No.
No.
No, but I think it is I think it's part of it. I think it is, it's got its tentacles. I think one of the tentacles is this.
In an
But
effort
I don't
to...
feel as though that's...
But think about that. We are now a week away. Do you think they're really going to be moving that quickly? First of all, the article isn't even written.
And the America's
piece isn't even
mind
written.
is made up. I don't know what they're going to do.
And what, are you going to start taking down all of these YouTube videos?
They would.
And then
They've done it
lessen
before.
the trust that people already have on YouTube and legacy media? I don't know. I don't know that that's what's happening here.
And I think
But we'll
that's
see.
the consensus across the board. It's like, okay, we know that it's going for Trump. Let's not, also sever the tie. Because the moment you try to suppress that kind of truth, people know. They're too familiar.
Yeah.
2020 didn't happen.
I just was
too
talking
long
about
ago.
that. Just
And
saying
people
that.
are still, that's still fresh in their minds.
I know.
And then we see how it's panned out after the 4 years, where everybody thought that Jonathan was a crackhead, saying like, "Oh, how can you think that this is just going to be a 12-day thing?
We haven't
just have
gotten
to trust
any,
the process,
did
trust
you-
the government."
Did you ever get an apology for any of that stuff?
Never. Actually, one or two. Yeah. churches, ministers, leaders, you're going to see to your shame that you're blowing this up out of proportion. Oh? Was it? Is that what panned out?
No.
To be true?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You're just being too dramatic.
No doubt.
And really, we should trust government, and we should trust
science.
Yeah, trust the science. Slow the spread, and then we see. We talk about the vaccine and how you'd have to be freaking crazy, and now you see the byproduct of the vaccine. You sound crazy at first, but at the end, no one's thinking you're crazy anymore. Yeah. And now everybody's at the end of this. Like, hindsight's 20/20, but we're looking back now and we're seeing the straight up lies that we were fed. Yeah. And now you're going to try to do the same thing. It's just not going to work.
And that's, I think, where we're at. I think that's where we're at with media. And I think that they're they're scrambling.
And it's the media.
Yes.
It's the media. They are so stinking, they're liars.
Yeah.
And
propaganda.
So.
But Jeff Bezos said something yesterday in an article that just like, we're going to try to get more conservative outlets or writers into, yeah, for real. Too little, too late. You loser.
Whatever. And that's where it's at.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Not quite sure why Donald Trump is live from Mar-a-Lago. He looks very serious. This was not expected. I was not expecting him to say anything. And again, not quite sure if this is an emergency.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know. What are we doing here, Max? I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? Get out of here.
This wasn't on.
This is like metal. This
deck. I'm not quite sure exactly what is going on. This is a breaking.
Is this going on live?
It's live.
Like public TV or just RS?
Yeah, like CBS was covering it and stuff. This has been planned. Eric, so is this just another rally? What was that? A press conference.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
If the song starts, you're gonna have to mute it so we don't get booted.
If tomorrow all the things I've worked.
All right, mute it. There you go. So this is a press conference. Some people tend to think that it was planned. Not quite sure. All right, here we go. Who's the lady to the left?
Such great spirit. I want to start by saying it's going very well. There are some bad spots in Pennsylvania where some serious things have been caught or in the process of being caught, but the election itself is going very well. We're leading, I believe, in all 7 swing states.
Pause. Can you guys take a look at what is he talking about?
Everybody's work.
Go ahead, play. Because you're a little delayed back there.
Our country's history, frankly, because we want to see our country get better. And that's why we're here, just to do a statement. And it's an honor to have some of our friends here. In less than 4 years, Kamala Harris has obliterated our borders, obliterated. We've never had a situation like this. Decimated the middle class, and runaway inflation has caused problems, the likes of which we never thought possible. Bloodshed, squalor to our cities is common, and they've unleashed a war and chaos all over the world. You take a look, everything's blowing up or getting ready to blow up. No respect for our country anymore, no respect for our leadership. No person has caused so much destruction and death at home and abroad should ever be allowed to be the President of the United States. You can't have that. You can't have that. So I'm running on a plan to save America. We're going to save America. We have no choice. It's the greatest there is. We love it, and we're going to save it. We have no choice. And it's going to be saving it from the incredible destruction that's been caused by crooked Joe Biden and Kamala. And she's responsible because he wasn't responsible, and she never said that. He didn't know too much about what was happening. Maybe that was exposed during the debate. And yet still the way they took that away from him was not right. It wasn't right. It shouldn't have happened that way. They walked in, they said, we're taking it away. They stole the presidency of the United States. You can call it a coup, you can call it whatever, but they stole it. They went in like taking candy from a baby.
My goodness.
And can't have that. And she's running on a campaign of demoralization and really a campaign of destruction. But really, perhaps more than anything else, it's a campaign of hate, a campaign of absolute hate. And, you know, I said yesterday that she's a vessel. She is a vessel. It's a very big, powerful party with smart people. I have to be smart. But it's vicious. They're vicious, and they're perhaps even trying to destroy our country. Because who would want open borders where millions of people can flow in from prisons and from gangs, the worst gang members anywhere in the world? Who would want this for our country? Who would want all of these transgender operations all over the place, like at will? Even if you're in detention, I want a transgender. These are things she stood for. Who wants to defund the police? She's wanted her whole career to defund the police. She only changed recently. She changed on 15 different items. Fracking. She was against fracking at the highest level. Wouldn't even think about it. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'd like fracking very much. But they change after the election in about 2 minutes, and I think Pennsylvania understands that. After 2 assassination attempts in just over 3 months, her lies and her slanders are very shameful and really inexcusable. And I can say that if I were president and somebody was being threatened, openly threatened like they've threatened me, I would say, if you do that, even if this was an opponent who I disliked, if you do that, we will obliterate your entire country, and it would all stop. But they wouldn't make that statement. They won't make that statement. And essentially that statement has been made by other presidents, even concerning their opponents, as you know. Today we're going to talk about the real character of Kamala, and a person who has no remorse for the anguish she's inflicted upon families all across America. On the contrary, I have to tell you, Kamala intends to conflict and keep this misery going, and she's going to keep it going as long as she can, because that's the only way she can get elected. She's going out and only criticizing, talking about Hitler and Nazi, and because her record's horrible. Her borders are the worst in the history of the world. There's never been a border in the world like this. I always say in third world countries, banana republics, they'd fight them away with sticks and stones if they had to. We let them come in, come on in. Knowing in many cases they're murderers, they're drug lords, they're traitors in so many ways to our country. If they were involved in our country at all, even that, they're coming back in. People that left because they were traitors are coming back in. Everybody's coming back in. And it's at a level that we've never seen before. Criminals off the streets. And you know, other countries from where they're coming are now setting records, good records for them, where crime is down 70 and 75%, because they're taking the criminals off the street. They're emptying their jails into our country. And they're not finished yet. I'm amazed. I thought they would have done it by now, but they're If you take a look at Venezuela, their crime is way, way, way down. Then you go to Caracas and you wouldn't recognize it. You can actually walk the streets without being shot or killed or mugged. It's becoming a safe city because they've taken all their criminals, most of them, the rest are coming. They're all coming. They've taken their drug dealers and they've put them into the United States of America. Thank you very much, Kamala. I appreciate it. But she continues and she will continue this misery, and her policies have caused such harm and such pain. And the three great people up here with me are going to just discuss that for a little while about what's happened to them, how their lives have been shattered.
Oh my.
I'd like to begin with the story of one mother whose life Kamala has utterly destroyed this life. And we're talking about thousands of people in very similar situations. Every day under Kamala, open border policies.
That's right, Sarah.
And if you remember, Joe Biden appointed her as the border czar. She doesn't want to use that term, but let's say we'll just use a different term. She was responsible.
No, we can't
for
go
the
full
borders.
screen because it's not our content.
Totally responsible. She never made one call to Border Patrol. 2 weeks ago, the Border Patrol endorsed me with the most beautiful endorsement I think I've ever gotten. And in all fairness, they've endorsed me every single year, but they've endorsed me again, and they endorsing me, saying I was the best president we've ever had and the best president by far on the border. They said that, and this is not easy for them to say, they said that she was easily the worst person ever to work with them on the border, most incompetent, the least caring. Think of it, not one call in almost 4 years was made to Border Patrol, like, how are we doing? I used to call all the time. I'd say, how are we doing, fellas? How's it going? Is it going well? And they're great people. Men and women, Border Patrol, great people that want to do their job. She didn't call them once. She released the two men who murdered this woman's very precious daughter. Everything you need to know about what happened and the character of Kamala Harris, you'll know from just watching this video. We had it done yesterday. It's very quick, very easy to do, but it was very heartbreaking. We showed it in a room full of people, and everybody was crying. Some people were crying. Please take a look.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning. First to do her son's school. She said, okay.
Now, one of the things that Jonathan had said was, this is such a disgusting, video that it should be played over and over again until Election Day. And so I am, it sucks that this is the route that he has to take, but I'm also thrilled that this is the route that he's taking. Because when you start talking about his rally and you start seeing that, oh no, they said Puerto Rico was blah, 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 and then you see that this is what people are dealing with in the United States of America, it really brings you to a reality that you need to see.
Driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
Jesus.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn.
My daughter is 6 feet in the ground based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country. Jesus.
Thank you very much. So I know we talk about inflation and the economy.
Who's the real threat?
To me, there's nothing more important than the fabric of our country being destroyed by people placed there, violently placed there, as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe RSBN
Foolishly,
do better.
stupidly placed there. I think what's happening on the border is the single biggest issue. And
Look,
I'm
I
seeing
feel
it
like
more
buying
and
a pillow
more when
right now.
I speak. I see it more. Inflation's terrible. It's hurting our
Way to
country.
read the room.
Just
What?
decimating our seniors. That's why I talk about Social Security.
Anything for
no
money.
tax for our seniors on Social Security because they've been decimated by But what Kamala did to Jocelyn and her family is the most heartless and cold-blooded betrayal imaginable.
Yes, it is.
Thousands of cases just like that.
That's right.
Thousands. In throwing open the border. Think of it, open borders, they come in from parts unknown. People have no idea who they are, where they're from, anything about them. They know nothing. They just walk into our country. And as soon as I heard they were doing that, I said, well, I know these countries. I know every one of the leaders of all these different countries. They're very smart. They're very sharp. They're very streetwise. I said, I know what they're going to do. They're going to open up their jails and just dump them into the United States. And that's what happened. They opened up their jails. And some of the most ruthless killers in the world are now roaming our fields and our streets.
Jesus.
All over the United States. I knew that was going to happen, and I would do the same thing if I were running one of those many countries that we're talking about, and not just the 3 or 4 that we constantly mention that are near us, all over South America, all over the Middle East, all over Asia, all over Europe, all over Africa. Tremendous numbers of people are coming out of Africa, and they're coming from all over the world. They're dumping them at our border, pushing them across the line, and say, don't ever come back. If you come back, we're going to kill you. And we're stuck with them.
Dude.
But we're not going to be stuck with them for long.
Come on.
So Kamala violated her oath. She desecrated our laws, and she got innocent girls like Jocelyn tortured and killed. Anyone who knowingly sets loose these monsters into our country has absolutely no right to be running for office, let alone the office of president. The American mom, Tammy Noble, is another great person, an American mom.
What was that?
Tammy Noble's. 2 years ago, Tammy's 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, who had an autism diagnosis, was found raped, tied up and strangled to death with a telephone cord in her home. Kayla's murderer was an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member, among the most vicious gangs anywhere in the world. I took him out by the thousands thanks to ICE. We're going to protect ICE. Kamala wanted to defund ICE. We didn't have ICE. We'd never get anybody out. They're tough and they're smart and they love our country. But an MS-13 gang member who was apprehended by Border Patrol, but under the policy of our border czar, Kamala, he was released into the United States to kill.
Dang, dude.
Tammy, please come up and say a few words, please. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, the mother's there.
Please.
Oh, that was her.
I just wanted to say that Homeland Security did not do their job. Health and Human Services did not do their job. The Biden-Harris administration did not do their job. If they would have done their job, made that one phone call to El Salvador, my daughter would still be alive today. Kayla was a very beautiful young lady inside and out. She was independent, learning to become independent. She had 2 jobs. She overcame obstacles dealing, with autism and was able to find a job that she loved. She loved animals, especially her cat Oreo, and she cared about the homeless. She loved God and she loved going to church. And her life was just ripped from her 3 days after she celebrated her 20th birthday. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Tammy. And we will not forget Kayla.
How many people,
looking
pause.
down. She's very proud of Mom.
How many people are going to actually
Kamala's-
rebroadcast his remarks during this press conference? MSNBC won't.
Nope.
CNN won't.
Nope.
ABC won't. CBS won't. I promise you. And this is how you do what you got to do. I'll tell you right now. If you were thinking about being lazy and not voting this election, you're going to reconsider after watching this. You're going to absolutely reconsider. Let me tell you what this also does. All of a sudden, a comedian that stood in the Madison Square Garden, it becomes a thing of, it's frivolous. It's totally unimportant.
Are you ready to see your...
I don't know where that came from. I was like, Lord? So I think the timing of this is great. He's also going to be in Allentown this afternoon, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Continue, let's watch it.
Why are we not there, Mags?
Because it's in Allentown.
That horrible period of time. She is also aiding and abetting the cartels, allowing vast quantities
So what's
of deadly
wicked?
drugs
How are you going to call this dude
unchecked into our
Hitler?
country.
And then this is what's
And
happening
remember this, they
in
have
our
an
very
app.
own country.
You call the app and you bring whatever you want, you bring them over, they'll tell you exactly. Can you believe it? They have an app. And they have airplanes, big, beautiful Boeing airplanes flying back and forth over our border. They were
Yes,
saying,
they
where
do.
are those planes coming from? Where are they going? They were loaded up with migrants. They're dropping them out in the Midwest. They're dropping them all over the place. And I will tell you, if you look at Aurora in Colorado or in Springfield in Ohio they dropped 32,000 illegal aliens. They tried to give them legal terminology, but it's not.
It's not.
Illegal aliens,
That's exactly
32,000
there.
into a 50,000 person town.
Unreal.
Beautiful town, no problems. And now they don't know what to do. And they want to be nice, and the mayor wants to be nice. His big thing is to get interpreters because they don't speak English. It's very hard to get interpreters. And he's trying to get interpreters. But in the meantime, they're taking up the hospital. So when people from Springfield would routinely be able to check with a doctor, go to a hospital, they're unable to get in, they're packed. The whole town has changed. And this is happening all over our country.
Yes, it is. It's treason.
Aurora
y'all.
probably
Treason,
is an
y'all.
even worse situation because you have the meanest, worst gang from Venezuela in the world, probably maybe as bad or worse than MS-13. And they've literally taken over the town. They've taken over large sections of the town.
Good job, David.
They've gone into the real estate business. They've taken over apartment complex. They took over a number of complexes where the people are paying them rent. They become the landlord, isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
Stuart. They pay rent.
And they're rough,
They
tough
pay for their
people, and they have
flights.
the latest weapons.
It's
They
insane.
have military quality weapons.
Where
and
are the
everyone's
children?
saying, where did they get
300,000
them?
kids that are missing.
Got to get them out of here. We're going to get them out fast. We're going to get them out fast. So I'm announcing that for the first time under my administration, we will be seizing the assets of the criminal gangs and drug cartels. And we will use those assets to create a compensation fund to provide restitution for the victims of migrant crime, and the government will help in the restoration. The government will help in the restitution.
Wow.
But something has to be done, and we're gonna get it done. Kamala has also caused untold misery through her destruction of our economy. Our economy is not, this is just, it's like a fake economy.
It's true.
Some of the best people on Wall Street are saying the economy is only good because they think, I don't want to say this because other people have said it. It's not me saying it, but they think Trump is going to get elected. That's the only reason our economy is good. That's the only reason the stock market is up.
It's true.
Scott is here, I think, someplace. And
How can you be against that? Seizing the assets of illegals for restitution of anybody that gets harmed by them.
Doing well because of
That's
the fact
fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it is.
Because these people are loaded.
We'll see.
It's ridiculous.
But Kamala cast the deciding votes that caused the worst inflation in our lifetime. Maybe the worst inflation we've ever had, because I don't think I know for a fact they're not adding all of the numbers. If they did, I think it's the worst inflation probably in the lifetime of the country. And it's costing typical American families over $30,000. Nearly half of Americans now say they're broke. Think of that. Half of Americans are saying they're broke. They have no money.
Think about that.
2/3 say they're living
How
from
is
paycheck
anyone voting? How is
to
this
paycheck,
election
and
even
that's a
close?
record. We've never had that to that extent. We've never, ever had that. Millions of Americans are lying awake at night, worried about how they'll pay their bills because Kamala wrecked their family finances, and she's done that.
Yes.
She's done nothing good. They have
Seriously,
done
nothing
nothing
good.
And I speak of Kamala, but it's
them.
partially
them.
Joe, but Joe's out of it, Joe's sort of out of it. She's been out of it for a long time. Now she wants to raise taxes for the typical family by $3,000 a year. She's got no empathy for the hardworking Americans whose dreams she's killed, and said recently that there is not one thing that she would do differently from Biden. That's only because she choked. I'm sure she could have come up with a couple of things if she really thought about it, because there's been so much destruction caused by the Biden administration.
Without a doubt.
One of the things that people don't talk about, and the news never talks about, they don't talk about, as an example, Afghanistan, but this is something that's incredible, because when you think of the numbers, 325,000 children are missing, dead, sex slaves or slaves.
He's saying it, guys.
325,000 children who came in through the open border are now missing. Many of them are dead, and nobody talks about it.
Let me tell you, this conference is kicking ass.
325,000
missing. When I read it first, I read it,
totally gone.
You're talking about take your largest stadium and fill it up many times. That's what the kind of numbers are. Here today is Michael Copy, a small business owner who runs a dry cleaner and is struggling to get by because of what Kamala has done to his business. They've destroyed small businesses in this country.
Yeah.
Michael, please.
All right, Michael.
I just want to say thank you, Mr. President, for affording me the opportunity and the high honor of joining you here today and sharing my small business story with you folks and the American people. So it's a chain of eco-friendly dry cleaners throughout the Tri-County here in West Palm. And it seems not too long ago, just a few years, the customer and us, the small business owner, we were able to keep up with inflation. There were resources available to us for expansion, or if you had a bad month, if there was something you needed to make up for, it seemed like the support was there.
Yeah. Right after COVID, too.
And now, just a few short years later,
yep. Where is it?
It seems like all of those resources have dried up.
Don't.
The support's no longer there. We had an expansion plan about 6 years ago that we had to pause because we have to wait for our customers now to catch up with the inflation, the supply chain issues still, because we as a small business, we can't double our price points, although the cost of doing business now is 2, 3, or 4 times what it was just a few years ago. So we've had to get creative. Our industry, probably 30% in the dry cleaning industry, never survived COVID. And just recently this summer, I was contacted, my wife and I, by another local dry cleaner here in West Palm. They were asking advice. So husband and wife been there for about 35 years. Their lease was up, and the landlord was doubling their rent, which would have meant that that's what they've been paying themselves for probably the better part of 20 years. So they had to make a decision. Do they hand the keys back, or do we get creative, work together, pool resources?
Wow.
And so what we did was we figured out the right price point for them, but we did their cleaning for them, at least until we figured it out. And so they were not able to pay their operations. They couldn't keep that going, but they were able to save their business by strategically partnering. And by the end of summer, I think I was contacted by about 12 other local dry cleaners saying, can you guys help us also, because we're going through the same thing. Thank you.
Dang, dude.
And it seems now, so the delta between the reality
I'm telling you, come back to me for a second.
Inflation is right now, and we have in front of us.
What is dry cleaners? What is restaurants at this point in time? When we went out to eat last week, it was us 4 and maybe another 10 people in that restaurant. It was a very notable, high-end restaurant. Nobody was there. Nobody's eating at restaurants. Nobody has the money to be able to afford those expenses. It's insane. But the fact that this administration is covering it up is jarring to me. Because what exactly is going to transpire after he gets in? What are they going to do to all of a sudden make it look like, oh, because he's in, this is what you know what I'm saying? This is what the economy looks like. So it's very interesting that he's isolating these stories in advance so that you can see what's actually happening. Play.
The recent monster hurricane, Helene, just wiped out so much. If you look at the different states, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, it was just devastating. And the response was the worst since Katrina, but really a lot of people think it was much worse than Katrina. It's still, they haven't shown up. They're not in North Carolina. The people of North Carolina have suffered incredibly, and there's just nobody to help them. FEMA has been a total disaster. We had FEMA that was fantastic when we did this, because we had our hurricanes too. We had some bad ones, but we did a great job with it. It's not there. And then you see that they, originally blamed, and then they tried to take it back, but it was a little late. But they said that the money was spent on bringing illegal migrants into our country. They spent close to $1 billion, and these were funds that were spent. And you have to say, I was in North Carolina recently, and I looked at devastation that was just, unbelievable. There was nobody there from the federal government. The local people have done incredible things. Franklin Graham has done incredible things. He's been amazing. But there was nobody there. So we're pleased also to be joined by Christy Shamblin, person I know and I've gotten to know over the last year or so, the mother-in-law of fallen Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole G.
Jesus.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made Result
No!
Hunter.
Is that it? I'll tell you, I really do enjoy this press conference. It's got a very serious tone to it, so that people can be reminded. Because right now, we've just been doing the fun stuff. We've been doing the Trump rallies. We've been doing the comedians. We've been doing. It's just all fun to be on the fun side of things. But this is the true reality of that the nation is facing. So I'm glad that he has a more serious undertone. Play.
Yeah, it's not low energy. It's a serious thing.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
Does he look worried and tired? No, it's just like a very sad realization of the world we live in.
Millie should have been fired. They should have been fired. Anybody that was involved with that disaster should have been fired. She was one of 13 U.S. service members who lost their lives. Kamala said she was the last person in the room, that Kamala was the last person in the room. She was involved in everything. She takes credit for that. She was involved in everything. That means she was involved in disaster after disaster, because nothing good has happened with this administration, except that our country has gone to almost a third world status. With Biden, when Biden made a decision, she said she was there. Oh, she was there. But the Afghanistan decision was a disaster in so many different ways. And now you take a look at it, they're right back to what they were doing before, except much worse. Much worse
This is
to women.
absolutely
They're worse
fantastic.
to women right now than they were.
Great
even
move
before
to the
it
Trump
started.
campaign.
But Kamala never reached
Bringing
out
it right back to the very
family members
issues
of the
that people have
warriors.
truly forgotten about.
And she said she was going to, but she never did. She never called anybody. And Christy, I'd like you to come up and say a few words, please.
The strength of these women. Come on.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Christy Shamblin, and my daughter-in-law was Sergeant Nicole Leanne G., and she was killed in the botched Afghanistan exit at Abbey Gate. She was the cornerstone of a very large family. And instead of planning family gatherings and holiday meals and Christmases and baby showers, our family and thousands of other families plan outings at funeral grave sites, and that is where we as a family celebrate my daughter-in-law at Arlington National Cemetery, because she is in the ground. Her story isn't unique to our family, she's just ours. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of wounded veterans who came home from that war, who need our help and who are ignored by our current administration. President Trump demonstrates peace through strength. I know what he told the Taliban when he was negotiating with them, because I've made it my business to know. And what he said to them when he was negotiating with the Taliban, he said, "I will kill you if you harm one hair on one head of an American." President Trump shows up, he reaches out, and he can fix our country, and we can all heal together.
Thank you very much. It's so sad. So many cases like this. Nobody should have died. First of all, when they left, the soldiers should have been there. They shouldn't have been home watching, except for a small group, and many of them got killed, and large numbers. Nobody ever mentions the arms, the legs missing, gone, the face just obliterated. Nobody talks about them. I talk about them all the time. But I want to thank you, Christy, and we'll carry Nicole's memory in our hearts forever. The full consequences of Kamala's 4-year reign are almost too terrible to discuss or contemplate. We're coming to the end of a great campaign. I think we've had a great campaign. We've really not been provided the kind of protection that I needed as president, but I said we have to do it anyway. When Secret Service would ask for additional people, oftentimes we would be turned down. They were constantly asking for additional people. And I found Secret Service to be very brave. When I was hit and went down, they were right on top of me within seconds. I tell you what, those bullets were flying right over my head. I heard them.
I have
and
my
these guys
suspicions.
were right. I don't know how they didn't get hit, actually, but they were right there. You take a look at the video. One thing we would say, the video is there for people to see, but they were never given the kind of help that they requested, because our rallies were massively large and they needed more people, and they were always fighting for more people, and it was never given to them. Now they're being given I hope what they need, but we were, that was a constant fight. They'd come to me and they'd say, you guys don't want to give us the people. And yet Biden was covered and they'd have like 2 people show up. But Kamala is grossly incompetent, a total train wreck who has destroyed everything in her path. She's destroyed everything. She left 21 million aliens pour across our country, and then she, maybe in a short while, has to go home and she'll get herself a job someplace, who knows. But think about it, and she can look at the carnage, and she can look at all the people that have been killed. And you haven't seen anything yet because they've just started. They're just getting comfortable in our country. These are very tough people. These criminals make our criminals look like nice people. And she let the more than 13,000 convicted illegal aliens, nobody would have let these people into our country. And remember, they came out of the worst prisons in the world, the meanest, nastiest prisons in the world. And when she says that she wouldn't do anything different.
We have a few more minutes left of the broadcast, so if you want to watch it, we can put it back up after the 12 o'clock hour. But here are the ways for you to give and get these, get your t-shirt, okay? This one is a hot one. It's hairy balls. So if you know, you know. And here are the ways that you can give. We've got Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal. We've also got #donate on Facebook. Text RT to 50155. We've got all the cryptocurrencies that you could give with. You can also scan the code if you'd like, if that's easier for you. You can also mail in a check to Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA 15329. Don't forget a very vital offer, or rather step to receiving your offer, which is this wonderful t-shirt. Show them the t-shirt. There it is. Come on now. Who
looks like a
doesn't
belly
want that? It's going to be a t-shirt. It's not a belly shirt. It's not a crop top. We don't do that around here.
What kind of t-shirt is that? That looks...
It's a nice t-shirt. Okay.
Look at the arms. It's like folded up weird.
All right, you know what? It doesn't matter. When Gerald gets a hold of it, it's going to be a great t-shirt.
Fine.
Like all of our t-shirts. And so you can mail in your check, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA 15329. And don't forget to claim your offer at revivaltoday.com/offer. Bannon is out. He served 4 months and now he's on it like a bonnet. He's already has had his first live stream. It's absolutely wonderful. And so more on that, I'm sure, tonight. Listen, we haven't even scratched the surface of what's happening. That Trump rally press conference was absolutely stellar. We'll see you tomorrow for people watching online. The Trump rally was absolutely fantastic. Let's watch another few minutes before we end the show. Can we put it back up? There it is.
Her message has been a message of hate.
This is good. I'm so glad
and my message is about
that you're calling a spade a spade. They've called him Hitler enough, and now look at it. This is all the fruit of her 4 years, the past 4 years. It's disgusting.
Everybody's included. And on issue after issue, she broke it. They broke it together. But for purposes of this election, she broke it. Can't let her go. And I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to fix it very fast.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. That's why I'm going to head out to vote early.
And on the illegal, thank you very much.
Stop interrupting.
On the illegal immigrants that will be taken out of the country, as you know, we're going to be taking them out. And if they come back, we have laws that will be immediately enacted where they serve 10 years in prison. They won't come back, and if that's not long enough, we'll have to do something else. But we don't want them back. They're not going to come back. And as you know, we're asking for the death penalty for any migrant who comes into our country and kills an American citizen or a police or law enforcement person. Because we have to protect our police. Our police are under siege also at numbers that nobody thought were possible.
All right, ladies and gents,
it's very hard to recruit.
we'll see you later.
And really,
bye.
Ow, I just hit my elbow.
seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
F you.
Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump up towards the ceiling. MAGA, let the love float, Democrats corrupt. Yo, we know it's do or die, we taking it all back. So, feeling, funkin', amp central force where we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve just like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got songs. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 everybody jump. Trump, 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 Trump.